The Red Sox are still on pace to go 162-0. And Wilyer Abreu's chase for 324 homers this year is going swimmingly, going quite well. Okay. Red Sox win on opening day. We talked about it with Zach yesterday. I was like, yeah, I don't really have like that great opening day game memory. I mean, sure, World Series, banner ceremony is pretty cool, but like nothing classic. No one threw a no-hitter, no like walk-off, nothing like that. So yesterday we got something kind of close, right? It was a really well-played baseball game. It was tight throughout. It's 2-2 in the ninth inning, and you get this really good sequence for the Red Sox with two outs. Trevor Story walks on a very close pitch. Christian Campbell gets his first major league hit in the ninth inning. It probably should have been an error on Josh Young. It was hit hard, but he got plenty of glove on it. Like, it's a hard luck error, but I think it's an error. I don't think it's a hit. Anyway, runners at first and third. Wilyer Abreu already with a home run on the game. How about 2 3-run jack? Red Sox take the lead at the top of the ninth. They win it in the bottom of the ninth. Wilyer Abreu is the hero of opening day for the Red Sox. And what a steal he was when they traded Christian Vasquez a couple years ago. I didn't think that was going to be a steal. The Astros don't give up good prospects ever. They have such a good eye for talent. Well, Wilyer Abreu might be their first in a while that they've given up that's going to become something in this league. Finished 6th in the Rookie of the Year voting last year, won the Gold Glove in right field, and was someone that was dangled in trade talks this whole last season. And to be totally honest with you guys, I liked that they didn't trade him. You were able to get a guy like Garrett. He was thrown out for like a Logan Gilbert trade, and yet you go out and get Garrett Crochet, and you don't touch anyone on your major league roster. To me, I like that. I prefer that. We know that Wilyer Abreu can be something in this league. Well, now he might get dangled for an even bigger starting pitcher name than Logan Gilbert, because Jim Bowden of The Athletic wrote this week that the Red Sox could be interested in a trade for Sandy Alcantara of the Miami Marlins. You remember him, the Cy Young Award winner from 2022? Yeah, so Jim Bowden put out there that they could trade Wilyer Abreu plus 3 prospects inside the top 20, according to Sox prospects. Luis Perales, Juan Valera, and Franklin Arias for Sandy Alcantara. And I like Wilyer Abreu, but that's a tough one to say no to, man. That's a tough one to say no to. Talking about a guy who has won a Cy Young Award, has been an All-Star twice, is an ace, a bona fide ace in this league, who is still in his 20s for another couple months. He turns 30 in September. He's got team control for another 2 years. All right, he's an unrestricted free agent in 2027. He's owed 17.1 this year, 21 million. In 27. He's under contract through the next 2 years and a club option for 27, and he'll be owed 21 million in that 2027 pool, that unrestricted free agency. So I would do just about anything to get Sandy Alcantara in here. I think the Red Sox rotation's in okay shape, but there's so many injury concerns here. And granted, Alcantara did miss all of last year with Tommy John. It's the same thing I said about Garrett Crochet. It's like, it still sucks, but everyone gets it now, and everyone gets it in their 20s. So it's not as big a deal as this would have been even 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Okay, the kid, and he had a pretty good outing yesterday, by the way, on their opening day, 4 2/3. He struck out like 7 or 8. But he's got a career ERA plus of 130, career FIP of 252. Strikeouts per 9 is like 9 per 9. Like that's pretty good, man. I'm taking Sandy Alcantara like 9 times out of 10. Now, the issue that the Red Sox would have if that deal actually came to fruition is you already spent 2 to 3, 2 really big time prospects for an ace starting pitcher, A. And B, an ace starting pitcher that you have no guarantee to re-sign. That's the downside of what people were saying about the Garrett Crochet extension. is these fans and analysts saying, well, you already gave up a bunch of prospects for him. So if you're not going to re-sign him now, what's the point? You've already shown a huge vote of confidence in him to go and get rid of a top 5 prospect in your system and Kyle Teal, first round pick, to go and bring this guy in. So why wouldn't you sign him now? And so there's a real possibility that Garrett Crochet is a 2-year deal, 2025 and 2026, and then he goes to market and finds something else. And if you went and made the Sandy Alcantara deal, you're running the risk of that happening again, but just for a 3-year deal, which is still pretty good, right? 3 years of team control, but still not the ideal place you want to be to end up trading, 5 top 20 prospects for those 2 guys if you can't sign them long term. And by the way, Sandy Alcantara is coming very close to the point of no return for the Red Sox in terms of long-term contracts because he's going to be 30 in September. So you could bolster your rotation for the next 6 to 8 years if you do extend Garrett Crochet and get a guy like Sandy Alcantara. Because who knows what his market is at age 32. We know that Crochet's market, unless it all goes to shit, his market at 27 is going to be very, very lucrative. So that's the risk that you would run by making that trade, is that you would then have given up 5 premium prospects and you don't have either of these guys signed after 2027, which has to be a concern. But that would make you probably the best starting rotation in the American League, right? I think that would be pretty comfortably the best 1-2 punch anyway in the American League, especially with Garrett Cole hurt. And it's not Cole and Max Fried. So I think that would be a dynamite deal. But let's just say this, not for nothing. I really like Wilyer Abreu. That doesn't mean I wouldn't trade him for Sandy Alcantara, a Cy Young Award winner, right? Hopefully that's a better deal that John Henry and Fenway Sports Group makes than the other Alcantara they signed, Thiago Alcantara, a guy who was hurt all the time for Liverpool. But Wilyer Abreu has a chance to be a good mainstay on this team for a long time. Like I was talking about it yesterday, the guy, he hits. And even when things weren't going well at the beginning of last year, he didn't take off like a rocket or anything. They put him in the lineup pretty early on. He always had good at bats. He didn't start with the same deficiencies that guys like Jarren Duran started with, or that Ceddanne Rafaela still has. He's not too much of a free swinger. He's got a good plate discipline. He really makes pitchers work, even after he falls down in the count. He did that twice yesterday. One was a single, one was a home run where he fell behind 2 strikes, and he ended up working together a good at bat and getting on base, right? Single and a homer. And then obviously hit a homer in the 9th as well. Like this guy can hit for some power. I expect him to be a plus 260 average hitter, a good run provider and a very good defender, a Gold Glove defender in right field, which, again, weight it however you want in terms of how much you like defensive ability for an outfielder. But that's not an easy right field to play at Fenway Park. And in fact, when Roman Anthony comes up, he could well be a left fielder. But that's your other concern, is when does Roman Anthony come up? He's the number 1 prospect in baseball. He's probably got a chance to make the big club at some point this year. You have got an absolute logjam in the outfield. Wilyer Abreu, Ceddanne Rafaela, who you've signed long-term, Jarren Duran, who you haven't signed long-term, you just still have a bunch of team control out of him. You got like 5 more years of team control out of him. And Masataka Yoshida, who is the obvious odd man out. And obviously Roman Anthony fits in there too. Yoshida is the obvious odd man out. And it's fascinating to see what they're going to do with him over the next 3 weeks. They could DFA him. They really could. But he's going to be a lot tougher to trade than Wilyer Abreu will be. So if there's a case to be made and said, hey, Cam, straight up, would you rather have Wilyer Abreu or Sandy Alcantara? I would rather have Sandy Alcantara. But Wilyer can play, and he's a guy who you can put at any part of the lineup, and he will produce. And he's not totally lost out there against lefties, which is huge for a left-handed hitter of his age. 25 years old. You got him in the Vasquez trade, which is looking great for the Red Sox. I know Houston won the World Series, and Vasquez was a part of that in 22. But you offloaded an aging catcher who is a very good defensive catcher, an okay bat for a guy who is plus on both sides. Plus at the plate, very much double plus in the field, and Wilyer Abreu, who's only 25 years old right now and like 21 when you traded for him. Houston doesn't usually make mistakes, and I don't know if they can classify that as a mistake, but the Red Sox are probably going to win that trade. And that's for Jeff Bagwell, damn it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Should the Red Sox give up on Wilyer Abreu this early if it means bringing in someone like Sandy Alcantara? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Again, over 90% of you that are watching are not subscribed to the channel. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Know that we're going live every weekday, high noon Eastern time, and then wherever you get your podcast. Liking the video helps out a ton. Leaving a comment about how stupid I am also helps out, or how handsome I am. And you can check out the other videos that we have on the Red Sox and on Boston sports on this channel. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air every day.